Good afternoon. I want to brief the leadership team on the shorter shore research and the pestle of the three countries that ACME is deciding or considering to do business with. One is China, one is France, one is India. The organization is also considering putting in a manufacturing factory in Vietnam. I've also done the pestle for that also. The further research that I have done on the uh, tariffs, the trade barriers, and the exchange rates of those countries are for the trade barriers. These are the rules and regulations put on an organization for importing and exporting goods into the country. Types of barriers that the country could impose on the organizations are licenses, import quotas, voluntary export restraints, local content requirements. This is in reference to Radcliffe 2015. The licenses are issued by the government that allows a business to import a certain type of good into the country. The import quota is a restriction placed on the amount of a particular good or goods that can be imported into the country. Import quota is a restriction placed on the amount of particular good that can be imported. And the voluntary export restraint is usually levied on the consent of the importing country. Local content requirement is is where the government requires a certain percentage of the goods to be produced locally. Now, on the trade barriers, the risk that ACME has or would be looking at would be the countries putting a quota on what we can and cannot import. Um, the voluntarily export restraints, uh, exporting the goods to other countries could be have a restraint on us, and then the voluntarily the local content requirement is if the resources in the country are there and the country requires us to produce a percentage of the product in the local community and local country. The tariffs is simply a tax that the government or the countries can add to the imported goods that are coming into their country. This is one of the several policies that a country can enact in reference to in Radcliffe of 2015. There are two major tariffs that are discussed, the specific tariff and the ad valorem tariffs. The specific tariffs are a fixed fee levied on one unit of an import. An ad valorem tariff is a tax on a good based on a percentage of the good's value. If the country puts a specific tariff on a one unit of imported goods, that would be considered as if ACME was doing shoes. They could put a specific tariff on one pair of shoes and then add that for every unit that we send in or import into that country. The ad valorem tariff is taxed on the value of the imported product, and that would be on each unit and each product that is imported into that country. The other one that I want to talk about that is very beneficial to ACME is the exchange rate. The exchange rate is the conversion of the currency from one country to another country's currency. In reviewing and looking at the conversion rate tool that is available for us, the conversion rate for the US dollar to China, their renminbi, the dollar in comparison to the renminbi would be 6.81, I'm sorry, 6.87122 renminbi for every dollar that the organization spends or sells in China. The US comparison for the franc, if we decide to do business in France, the dollar would retrieve 6.09580 francs, and that would still benefit the company on the selling and buying of any products on export or import into France. Dealing with the exchange rate for India, the exchange rate for the dollar of the US dollar to Indian rupee is $1 would equal 67.1373 rupee. This is very beneficial to Acme if they do the import and export goods into there, because every dollar that we spend, the imported goods into India, those consumers would be paying 67.1373 for every dollar that Acme would actually spend in India. So in relations, benefiting on the exchange rate, it is monitored and evaluated daily, many times, to help each country and economy to make sure that it is still being profitable and still making money. The exchange rate can also either increase the amount of cost of the imports, or it could also decrease the amount of the imports. It could also increase the amount cost of the exporting of goods, and it could also decrease the cost of exporting goods out of the country. So with all this being said, this does give the leadership team of Acme some direction of what they need to look at, what further needs to be investigated, and also if it would be beneficial for Acme to consider doing business globally with these countries, and also looking into opening up a manufacturing plant in Vietnam. I hope this has been information to all of y'all, and if there's anything else that you would need, please feel free to reach out to me. All of my references are listed at the bottom of the report. Thank you.